So I had this really interesting conversation today with my friend about living with intention. I had just done a webinar, so we were talking about it. And she said, you know what, living with intention, like doing something on purpose, can be really scary. It can be really scary, right? Because then you're the one in charge, not your circumstances or how someone else made you feel. And so, yeah, I thought that's true. It can seem a little bit scary, but it's also, when we come right down to it, living with intention is very liberating and it's really freeing. And it's the opposite of being a victim of our circumstances, right? And so when I talk about an intention, I'm talking about like a really big, all-encompassing idea. So let me tell you my intention. My intention is to live a happier, healthier, more open-hearted, more connected life. It seems really lofty, but if we all would admit to it, I think this is something that we all can get behind, right? This is something we all want. It just looks differently for every person. Now, they're different, intentions are different than goals. Goals are really important. So for example, if out of my intention, I decide to be healthier, I need to exercise more, for example, or spend more time in nature, then I would create goals that would really be aligned with those intentions, right? So you're going to tell me, look, I have this incredibly busy life. It's very complicated. How on earth am I supposed to even figure out what my intentions are or live that way? Well, I've got 3 quick tips for you to at least get you started, right? So the first tip is to really just get quiet. Our lives are so noisy. There's a lot going on. And so my first recommendation is just to sit in the silence. And as you sit in silence, just start to ask yourself some of these questions, right? So what do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? And start to notice what shows up. And the hard part is going to be trying not to judge it, right? So really try not to judge it right away. Try not to analyze it right away. Just kind of sit with whatever shows up when you're in the quiet and you ask yourself these really big questions that maybe you're not asking yourself every day. And my recommendation is to ask these questions in silence for several days, maybe even weeks, but possibly not just once. But the quiet is important, and maybe even like daily for a week, for example. So that's the first tip, first step. So what's the second step? So this can seem scary. It seemed scary to me when I told you my intentions, which is to put it out into the universe, right? So tell someone, write it down, talk about it. And let me give you an example. So a common intention of folks that I'm working with is they just really want to feel calm. They want to get rid of their anxiety. And so the first thing is we start to tap into what that might look like for them. And so that would be just trusting that intuition and saying it out loud, right? So the third thing is really, really important, and that is we have to take action, right? So all of these things are great, but without the action, it leads to nothing, right? So let's say I'm working with someone and they want to live in more calm, like I said. So maybe they're just going to start with something incredibly simple, and the action steps honestly work much better if they're little tiny baby steps. So maybe if you want to try meditation, try it for 2 minutes a day. Try some breathing exercises. Maybe if you don't have a teacher yet, just get an app, things like that. So really just simple, small baby steps that can maybe get you closer to those larger intentions. So don't be intimidated. You don't have to make huge, swift changes right away. Just little tiny actions. So those are those 3 tips, right? So sit in silence to get clarity, put it out into the universe, and the third is to take action, messy action, baby steps. So this is exactly some of the stuff I dive deep into in my coaching program, both my group program and my one-on-one program. So if you have any interest in what we're talking about and you're thinking about living sort of with more intention, then find me, email me, and let's set up a discovery call. And so just imagine what it might look like for you if you said, you know what, I'm going to live with more intention, and I'm going to do these particular actions that are aligned with my intention. What might they look like? I mean, it could be something really, really simple. Maybe it means that you're going to go to a yoga class and you hadn't given yourself permission to do that in a long time. Maybe it means you're just going to sit with a cup of tea. Maybe it means you're going to spend some more time journaling. Whatever that looks like, nurture that and keep working on action, right?